Well, good morning. We're going to go through Lax's haircut here. You can see it's a little bit overgrown. So I'm going to start with the 1.5 closed on the right hand side. See, I'm staying right underneath the temple. You can see the kind of arch that goes from the temple to the top of the ear. So that's my 1.5 closed. I start every time with the 1.5 closed. And now a mini trimmer line. I'm just going to take all of that away. Now I'm using the Wild High Vis, and it's just incredible. I don't zero gap anything because I'm useless at DIY. So every time I've ever tried to zero gap, I just ruin it. So they're straight out of the box, they're fine. So now I'm going to rub that line out. So that's 1.5 closed, and now this is a half guard. So we're going to use the half guard open and closed to rub that line out. These are my Wild Magic clips, the gold ones. Also very good, also not zero gapped. So that's line starting to come out now. So 1.5 closed, mini trimmer line, then half guard open, half guard closed. And now I've taken the guard off, so it's just a normal clipper that I'm just using the taper lever of open and closed just to rub that line out. Now I'm going to shut up now and let the lo-fi music probably bore you to tears. Just so you can see what's going on there. I hope you're liking my YouTube. I'm hoping to get to 1,000 subscribers and then monetize it, and then whatever money that I make from it, I'm going to invest in doing better videos, styling them better, making them easier, more informational, because I have to admit that these are on customers. Most of all my videos from my Instagram, my TikTok and my YouTube, I am fully booked every day. I also work 2 days in as a teacher. So that's I'm foiling out the bottom there. And now these are zero gap, like to an inch of their life. These are with a ceramic blade on my seniors. I use an all wall setup. So yeah, like my customers are my models. I just set up my tripod and I'll take videos from my social media content. Well, here you go. So here's my connection into the taper. So this is a 2 and 2 but open, so we'll call it 2.5, but it's a 2 open. Now the reason I use either a 2 open or a 3 is all down to color depth, right? And now I'm going to rub that line out with a 1.5 open and a 1.5 closed. Now Lax's hair is so dense here, so I have to go over this quite a lot and rub that line out. But the reason why I do a 2.5 or a 3, now this is because over years of trying to figure this out is like what is the thing that makes the taper or a fade pop? Is it the light or the dark? Now I am under the impression that it's the dark, so it's the kind of, you want the most amount of colour in your colour transition from skin to hair, right? So I think a 2 open or a 3 leaves enough colour depth that it's the same colour as the top for connection, and then it fades into, when you fade into that, it makes your life a lot easier to connect, but also gives you the maximum kind of pop for your fade. So that's why I use that. So you can see that I'm kind of just going through the different guards now, just working down and rubbing out that line. So just to recap, I start off with a 1.5 closed, then a mini trimmer line, then a half guard open, half guard closed. I'm going to take the guard off and just kind of rub that line out. And then the connection point is a 3 or a 2.5 open, and then run down again. And now I've got my mini trimmers out. This is the high vis, so I'm just edging this up. You can see Lax's hair is so dense, it actually looks like it's sprayed on, but it's not. It's because his hair is just so thick, it's wild. So now I'm just edging that up now. Taking it nice and easy. By the way, I've got OCD when it comes to haircuts. So I have about 1 million voices in my head that are telling me to just stop cutting, but I can't. So that's basically how I work. So yeah, just edging that up now. And then also sometimes you can work on a section for, you know, quite a long time. See, I spend a lot of time on one side, sort of really gauging my depth. It's like playing a sport, I suppose. You're just trying to get your eye in. So I work on one side, then I work on the back, and then I walk around to the other side. So I work one side, making sure that, you know, I'm getting everything right, the levels, and then that's when I work through to the back, and then I can speed through. And then the other side doesn't take hardly any time at all, because I've got the hang of the hair and the lie of the hair. And I know I do my customers all the time, but you know, they come in with different greasy hair, or if it's washed, or it's lying differently, they were wearing a hat. So each time it can be a little bit different. So there we go, starting again, mini trim, 1.5 closed, then a mini trimmer line. Then I'm foiling right up to the line here, because it's a new thing I'm doing, because I'm condensing everything, so I kind of do everything twice. So 1.5 closed, mini trimmer line, foil it out, and then half guard open, half guard closed. That's the one. You can see that coming out. You see how dense the back of his head is. Honestly, this hair is, you know, he could share it around. Any people bald out there that listen to this kid could lend you some hair and still have plenty. Okay, so I'm still just rubbing that line out now. Tapers are definitely my favourite haircut at the minute. They've been my favourite haircut for years. It's like I was obsessed with like the classic taper in gangster films and things like that. Which were basically bad haircuts, by the way. They're old tapers that you might have seen. They would just literally just take off the hair, bald, and then sweep the long bits over, which were the dark, which I was just explaining before. And it'd just be like bald underneath with the dark, and it would just look, you know, just because of the colour of the skin versus like depth of colour of hair, made it look tapered. They weren't done to the skill set of what we do today. No, they didn't have the tools. So here we go. So I've just rubbed that line out, half guard closed, and then there was a small little line underneath. So I'm using my ultra zero gapped seniors with a ceramic blade just to edge that out. So now I'm going to line it up. Use my high vis again, which I absolutely adore. It's so good. And I've gone through mini trimmers like this, you know, no tomorrow, and I've used all the different brands. But this one I got given this the other day. I've only had this a couple of weeks, and it's arguably one of the best I've ever used. Straight out of the box. You can see I just sit right inside the hairline. I don't go too mad. And once again, my OCD kicks in because I just can't stop. So it's just, you can see I'm going over one bit, you know. I don't know what my brain is telling me there. There's a little voice on one side going, just stop, Luke. And the other side is just like, no, it must carry on. Bizarre, really. Okay, so that's lined up that side. His hairline kind of like disappears a little bit there, so you kind of really, you know, I like the fact that you just get that arch just above the ear. And the lining up a taper is so crucial, so crucial. Right, I'm putting my clippers back there. I thought I edited that bit out, to be honest. But hey ho. Nothing like a raw edit. Okay, so I'm being super picky now with my own work, and I'm just making sure that the taper is absolutely bang on. You know, I call it condensing. It's like I do the whole thing once and then just push the skin line up and ever, you know, a tiny bit. And here we got the reveal. This is the finished. We did cut the top a little bit, but Lax likes to keep it super heavy and curly. And his hair's actually straight, So if I actually take too much length off it, it just goes straight. So we just keep it nice and heavy on top, and we just push this fringe up a little bit. And that is the very end. So like and subscribe. Thank you so much